Boneyard. Enter at your own risk.
Decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.
And hey, happy Sunday, everybody. So welcome to the Big Boneyard. Let's start like right there. Let's start right there. Thank you for riding through tonight to join us here on the Big Boneyard. You got myself. I am Big Bone 1%er. Not in studio. Not in studio. Hey, Tate, you're gonna have to turn down your volume, or if you got to play in somewhere different. So, on the road right now, not in the studio, but on the phone is going to be my man Tate. Hey, Tate, what's up, man? You there? Hey.
Yeah, I'm here. You know how it is. Just travel in the state.
Okay. All right. You're gonna have to, make sure you chime in because I wasn't sure if I had lost you or not. I'm like, hey, you there? Anyway, so neither here nor there. So tonight is a very important show. So I'm glad if y'all joined us, which you ought to be joining us anyway. But seriously, it's a very important show that we're going to be talking about tonight. So check this out. We want to do our disclaimer straight away. So I want to be clear that everybody understands that the opinions, what we talk about on this show, whatever we're talking about, these are the opinions of myself, Tate, our guests. These are our opinions only. They do not reflect the opinions of our clubs or our organizations in any fashion whatsoever. We're speaking for ourselves. Having said that, man, you know what? Little house cleaning rather. That HB 429 that we were talking about, that bill that whereas they're trying to turn everybody into a gang member, domestic terrorists, and all that kind of stuff in Florida. It's a crazy bill. I hope you all have been following it, and I hope you're familiar with it. If you're not, dig into it, find out. It's cleared the House, so it's no longer a House Bill 429. It is now the Senate bill, because that's the way that, if you remember Schoolhouse Rock, that's how a bill gets made. I'm just a bill, starts in the House, ends in the Senate. It's out of the House, it's in the Senate, and it's now SB, like Sierra Bravo, 536. So I put some information up on my Facebook, and it's all on throughout social media. But what we want you guys to do is to reach out to those Florida senators that are sitting on those committees. We've got their names and their information has been posted so that you can send them a letter, send them an email, which is super easy, or make a phone call. They take the phone calls, they read the emails. Let them know that you are against that SB 536. That's super important and you need to do it before Wednesday. And again, the information is on all of our social media, so definitely dig in there. It's not going to be too far down. It's like one of the first few things that you're going to see. But anyway, we wanted to get that out of the way real quick. So the subject, let me ask you, Tate, so where are you coming from right now, Tate?
I just traveled down to Lake County. I
No, I
stopped in
mean,
Forest.
you were in Mississippi, but for what reason?
I was picking my daughter up.
I'm sorry.
I had to go pick my daughter up.
No, I thought. Oh, you didn't go to Meeting of the Minds or something like that?
No. This is my week with my daughter.
Oh, okay.
So I had
Because
to pick her up. Yeah.
oh, okay. I thought you went up there. Some of the guys were in Mississippi for MC, like for a motorcycle conference. I thought you had went to that. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're still on the road, and that's all right because that's something that we do. You're doing daddy duty, and that's crazy cool. Having said that,
Hey,
no,
but
go
I
ahead.
worked some A-Bait stuff into it. Forest chapter had their like 6th annual chili cook-off. Stopped by there on the way through. Have some great chilies, some great fellowship with the brothers down there in Forest chapter. Shout out to Dog. They do a really good event every year. Pick my daughter up, headed back to the house now.
Okay.
About 3 hours ago.
All right. So I'll say one little thing real quick, and we're gonna get into it. In Pasco County, the police have lost their blankety blank minds. They're giving a lot of folks a fit. They're all excited about this 429 stuff. And they decided one of our favorite places called, excuse me, the Backyard Tavern. The police, as of late, this is a biker bar, old school biker bar where bikers go to be bikers and do biker stuff, right? So the police have been just setting up all in the area. Everybody coming in or out of the place, they're just giving them a fit. Most of the folks aren't getting tickets or anything like that. Well, I mean, they're giving speeding tickets, winning if they can, but it's just straight up harassment. So go there, support the place. We're asking everybody, if you got a cell phone with a camera on it, everybody does, and you see the cops doing some foolishness, just record that, because record what they're doing. That seems to be the only thing to make them leave folks alone. So, hey, do that. So it's on Highway 54 in Pasco County in the city of Newport Richey. It's the Backyard Tavern where we do a lot of stuff. In fact, Wednesday, we're going to be there doing our bike night. The A-Bait bike night for the Boneyard chapter is Wednesday night. And then on the rocks, also in Newport Richey, the WFL COC, that's the West Florida Confederation of Clubs, is doing their bike night at a place called On the Rocks in Newport Richey as well. So that's coming up this upcoming Wednesday, this upcoming Thursday. So definitely check that stuff out. It's going to be real cool. There's also a real cool poker run that's coming up on March the 28th, and we'll be giving you more information about that sometime soon. But let's get into the subject of tonight. I'm just going to read the description, then jump into it. So recently, BikerNet, biker.net, BikerNet, however you want to call them, which is a subsidiary of Easyriders, the magazine. Magazine been around forever and ever, for decades. They published a very troubling article that described and glorified crimes against a child. I can't go into a detailed description of it here because we don't wish to violate any YouTube standards. But simply put, if you care about protecting kids, I'm glad you're watching this episode. And you're going to hear everything that we got to say on the subject. So I'm sure y'all understand why we had to write it in such a fashion as far as the description is concerned. Having said that, so here's what's up. So Easyrider Magazine, BikerNet, they're owned by Easyrider. They wrote an article that's very troubling about some biker, a rough and tumble, supposedly old school outlaw style biker who was rolling into this town and decided to go over to the elementary school where a bunch of 13-year-old girls were literally fighting each other to be able to get the ride on the back seat of his bike. Well, he picked up this kid, an attractive 13-year-old girl, and took her to some club where she danced and entertained everybody so well that he was excited by that and did the disgusting things that you could imagine him doing. And he goes on in this article to romanticize the quote unquote relationship between him and this child and all of the S-word exploits that they continued to have throughout this long article that he wrote. And he very much romanticized the crime of child abuse in such a fashion, whereas he tried to downplay and minimize the horrendous crime, the disgusting crime that he just described committing. A lot of folks would say, first of all, we want to be clear. Myself and Tate and a whole lot of other folks we talk to, thank God, are absolutely disgusted by what we read. We can't even repeat most of it. So we're disgusted by it. We think it's horrible. The question came up, why would Easyrider allow something like that to be published? Because you understand, when it comes to magazines and online magazines or print magazines, there's a process. By you write something, then somebody approves it, then it goes to editorial, then somebody else approves it. And of course, Easyrider always has to have the final say so as to what gets published. And it went through all of those steps and was still approved. Well, we had to look into that a little bit, and we had to ask the question, why was that? Well, apparently the new owner, Easyrider has a new owner, and the new owner is some right-wing, wealthy, but a right-wing MAGA nut job who just feels like, he's got to do everything to support his party and his president and all this kind of stuff. And look, anybody can have the political opinion that they want, but this guy has taken it upon himself. He decided that because of all of this Epstein file stuff, he wants to minimize and somehow trivialize the crime of assault, the crimes against children. He wants to make it not a big deal so that folks will kind of forget about the Epstein files and stop making Trump a bad guy because he might have did those sort of things, or it was suggested one way or the other. It's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard, but that's the only justification that we're hearing having come from them. Now, Easyrider, as a result of all the pushback and the blowback, they removed the article. They took all mention of it off the internet, and it's not in any print as far as we know. They didn't release any of it in print, or so we've been told, but they're not talking to nobody too much. They're not answering a whole lot of questions. They're trying to pretend and wish it away like it never happened. Somebody who says, oops, and that's it. But yeah, we're not with that. Tate, let me shut up for a minute because my blood pressure is going through the roof right now. What are you thinking about this subject? Then we're going to read some of the responses that we got from some other folks, but what do you think about it, man?
Well, first off, I mean, Easyrider is where Alien started. And I'll give it that. Easyrider has always been a freedom of speech, freedom of, choice, let me do my own thing, organization, magazine type deal. But this is going too far. I mean, I can get if it was written as a satire, but even then, that's disgusting. But that's point number one. Point number two is whoever wrote this article is not a biker. I'll tell you that now. And if they are, they're ignorant.
The guy that, my understanding is, the guy that wrote the article is the guy that goes by the name of Bandit, and BikerNet is called Bandit's BikerNet. So the new owner is a dude. He's the his exact title is he's the editor-in-chief and editorial director. His name is Keith R. Ball. He purchased Easyrider Magazine from Ellen Teresi. Ellen Teresi is the widow of the longtime publisher Joe Teresi. Joe Teresi owned the magazine for the longest time. So this guy, Keith Ball, he moved the headquarters to Sturgis, South Dakota, Sturgis, and his plans was to reestablish the publication as a as being the definitive voice of motorcycling and custom motorcycles and everything that they've always been. And I'll tell you what, this move here, not a good one. Jasmine Kane, which I'm hopefully we'll have her here to share her opinion about it. The singing sensation. She sings country and pop music. She's very popular. Her name's Jasmine Kane. Jasmine Kane is also really good looking woman. So she's also a professional model, and she has been modeling for Easyriders for a good number of years now. And she came out with a scathing response and indictment of Easyriders Magazine. And I was very proud of her. She said, if this is going to cost her money, if this is going to cost her business, if it's going to cost her sponsorship, then she doesn't care. She doesn't stand for abuse of children. I was very pleased with the way she came out about it. But let's take a minute here. I want to share something. There's a video that, in fact, let me see if I can pull this up and share this with everybody. Let me see if I can get it to act right. Okay, is this the thing? Okay, here we are. Let me see. I believe this is it. Let's see here. Nope, that's not it. All right, let me try that again.
While you're looking for that,
Okay.
saying that this is supposed to be the voice of the biker world and all that, that's the most ignorant statement I've ever heard, because I cannot think of one motorcycle organization being an MRO, being an Eagle Rider, being an Elk Rider, being a 99er, support club, diamond, social club, anybody on two wheels. We all stand for the same thing, and there's one thing that we all agree on across the board, up to and including the LE clubs, is we do not deal with crimes against children, and we don't deal with crimes against women.
All right. Hang on one second. Let's see if we can get this bad boy to play.
And I want to approach it with the gravity that it deserves. So it was brought to my attention today. Hey guys, I'm dispensing with the usual theatrics in my opening because we've got a serious topic to discuss today, and I want to approach it with the gravity that it deserves. So it was brought to my attention today by my good friend, content collaborator, and respected motorcycle builder, Weems Motor Co. that an incredibly disturbing article was posted by a subsidiary of Easyrider, BikerNet.com. Calling out Easyrider Magazine when you're in the custom motorcycle scene is not a career-safe move. But if you know Weems Motor Co., you'll understand that for a man like him, silence was never going to be an option. I'll have his YouTube and all the rest of his socials linked down below. BikerNet.com, from everything that I can see, is owned and operated by Keith Bandit Ball, who also owns and operates Easyrider since 2025. I only make this crystal clear because I don't want there to be any room for misdirection that this was done outside of the umbrella of Easyrider. This article was either posted by the owner of Easyrider and BikerNet.com or by a person who was under their editorial management. The article, published yesterday, February 10th, 2026, now deleted, was written from the perspective of a biker named Renegade. In his outlaw confession, Renegade details how he rode his chopper to an elementary school in Los Angeles, where, in his words in the article, all the 13-year-old girls at that elementary school would fight to claim the back seat of his motorcycle. I hate having to say this shit out loud. He then describes how he would take this child to Hollywood, and in his words, again in the article, have her dance at the nastiest gangster strip clubs on the Sunset Strip. But once again, and I'm sorry, I don't want to say this out loud, but I need to for the gravity of all this. In the article, Renegade then states how he was so moved by her dancing that he would then take her into a back dank alley over a trash can somewhere and take advantage of her. Again, the words of the article. It's not very pleasant to have to say this stuff out loud, and I apologize that you're having to hear it. At no point in the article were the actions of Renegade framed as immoral, and neither were they condemned. The tone of the story wasn't a confession in a traditional sense. The tone of the story was that of somebody who was bragging and expecting praise for the actions that he took in his story. Since the article was called out, it has been deleted. But the removal of this article hardly counts towards taking accountability for its existence in the first place. Its removal, in my opinion, only does one single thing. It poses the question that if people had not expressed outrage over its existence, would it still be up? And with something this vile written in that kind of braggadocio tone, I've got way more questions that need answering than just that one. For starters, I would want to know who exactly wrote the article, who edited the article, and who approved it to go live on the website. Or like really just who even let this exist as a possibility for content in the first place? There has to be accountability for something like this. There's hardly a single motorcycle show or motorcycle event that doesn't have Easyrider involved in it somehow. And I don't know about you, but I personally wouldn't be caught dead supporting anything with Easyrider's name on it until I got answers to those questions. Good answers. I think a common argument from a lot of people might be that this was a fictional story. After all, Easyrider is well known for posting biker fantasy stories, a lot of them disguised as letters to the editor type confessionals, a lot like Playboy and other adult magazines did back in the day. While I certainly hope that this is a fictional story, it doesn't make its existence any less disgusting. It does absolutely nothing to absolve the responsibility for the romanticization and glorification of sexual abuse towards children. We still need an explanation. We still need to know who wrote it. We still need to know who approved its publication on the website. I also think that there's some people out there who might argue, well, it's a story from the 70s, a different time and place. Well, I wasn't alive in the 70s, and though I can certainly accept that the 70s was a different time and place, we are not talking about blurred lines of legal age of consent that have changed over the past 50 years or vary between state to state. You can't justify this with 16's legal in France. This article that was written is talking about a 13-year-old child specifically stated to be in elementary school. It's describing not just something that was and is illegal, but also so morally fucking reprehensible that personally, I'm struggling to think of an explanation for its publication that would satisfy me. This article, to a T, glorifies a child predator, a pedophile who specifically traveled to an elementary school to steal somebody's child, coerce them into prostitution, and then take advantage of them sexually. This is not okay in any decade. This is not okay to glorify in memoirs. It's not okay to romanticize in fiction. And someone needs to be held accountable for its publication on this website. It sickens me, not just as a lifelong motorcycle enthusiast, but also as a huge fan of choppers. To hear this act of sexual violence softened and romanticized with words like metal flake paint jobs and chrome sissy bars and loud fishtail pipes. If you find yourself thinking that I'm overreacting, maybe this isn't so bad, it's just a story, where's the harm in it? Just replace the motorcycle described in the story with a windowless van, or maybe replace it with a jet on its way to a private island. Then ask yourself if it doesn't sound that bad. I get it. Bikers are outlaws, and a lot of us have romanticized the idea of living outside of man's law on two wheels, myself among them. But the legality of the acts that were described in this article, whether it be fiction or not, has absolutely nothing to do with my disgust over them. And if your fantasy of being an outlaw includes shit like this, then all I can say to you is that I hope hell exists. This is not about destroying a brand. This isn't about mob justice. This is an unequivocal refusal to let something like this quietly disappear without some fucking answers. Weems Motorco brought this to my attention, and he was alerted to it by Jasmine Kane. Jasmine Kane is a musician, singer for her band that travels America. She also does freelance modeling on the side, and Easy Rider reached out to her since she was in Tampa for a show to model with Jared's latest chopper build for an article they were doing in their magazine. After Jasmine told Weems what she had found, obviously they both agreed that they were totally scrapping any and all involvement with Easyrider Magazine.
So let me throw this up here just for a second. So a cool thing about, and I mentioned this a moment ago, Jasmine Kane is so she's a friend. She performs at our bike night sometimes, which is a huge favor because she's kind of a big deal. I'm just so very proud of her for, putting her money where her mouth is. And it's not just Jasmine Kane. We'll get back with our guest in a second, but I want to read this. This is a notification or a response from the National Council of Clubs. That's not the INCOM, but this is the National Council of Clubs. What they said was the National Council of Clubs, representing the interests of motorcycle clubs and thousands of their members nationwide, is shocked and appalled at recent actions taken by the mutual ownership of Easyriders Magazine and BikerNet. On February 10th, 2026, BikerNet published a story titled Confessions of an Outlaw, which essentially glorifies and exploits pedophilia and the sexual abuse of a minor. The exact same ownership publishes articles in both Easyriders and on BikerNet. The NCOC strongly opposes this decision. Pedophilia in any form is disgusting, humorless, unacceptable, and against all conceptions of honor or morality. The NCOC will never support, endorse, advertise, or fraternize with Easyriders or BikersNet as long as the current ownership remains. It is intolerable that ownership of such an iconic symbol in the biker culture would publish such a piece for any reason whatsoever. There is no world in which pedophilia or crimes against children should ever be viewed as entertaining or meaningful. Moreover, any attempts at deflection through gaslighting members of the motorcycle community should also be rejected. Rest assured, thousands of people are equally disgusted. The backlash against this ownership group goes far beyond the opinions of one or two people. Easyriders and BikersNet ownership clearly have no sense of reality and no sense of current political culture. This is truly a sad day. Respectfully, the National Council of Clubs. And I couldn't have said it better myself, but I tried. And the deal is this, is that bikers, for as long as I can remember, have been the bastion of security for kids. There's literally organizations like BACA, BACA, that stands for Bikers Against Child Abuse. We get phone calls. We have families that reach out, moms, caretakers that reach out when kids are going through stuff, and they want to find out, hey, who's my local bikers who can help out with this? Our kid has to go to court and face an abuser. Something bad happened to the kid, and that kid needs to feel safe. And bikers do that. Not just the toy runs and like that, but bikers, anybody who knows anything about kids in their communities, they know the safest thing to do is when a kid's in trouble, there's a lot of moms who say, listen, and I'm nothing against cops, but a lot of moms will tell their kids, they'll say, hey, if you're in trouble, it's not so much that they'll say, don't find a cop. They'll say, if you see a biker, go tell that biker, I need some help, because the biker is going to help you. a lot of times in a better fashion than anybody else. And there's what they call the facts. Let me run over this with you real quick. And here is the response from my COC, if I can find it here. Okay. So from the West Florida, full disclosure, I'm the chairman of West Florida's Confederation of Clubs, but this was put together by myself, my vice chair, Bear GFFG, and some other folks. But here's what we have to say for other folks on the board. The WFL COC, meaning the West Florida Confederation Club, stands firmly against pedophilia and these other disgusting actions or the description of such. We refuse to support or endorse any individual, organization, politician, or political movement that embraces this sort of depravity, no matter its origins or political position. We do not differentiate based on an individual's business connections or political affiliation. The depravity of pedophilia and crimes against children should not ever be ignored, especially when the accused is well known, rich, and powerful. Standing against these disgusting acts should never be deflected, making it a question of Democrat versus Republican. It is quite simply a matter of good versus evil. We will not support any organization or individual that has engaged in these acts of depravity, tries to deflect our attention from these acts or glorify these acts of pedophilia in an attempt to normalize this depravity, making it acceptable. Sincerely, the West Florida Confederation of Clubs. And furthermore, if I have it here, there's also, if I can find, okay, I don't have it in front of me, but the Boneyard chapter of ABATE also released a statement. But I say all of that to say this: I can't think of anybody. I haven't heard from not one single individual who seems like this is somehow acceptable, who seems like this is just okay, boys being boys, or whatever the hell it is that they want to try to dismiss this as. It's not cool. It's not cool. Bikers.
Not at all.
Man, tell me about it. I mean, look, you're in the car with your girls right now. Am I right?
Yeah. My 14-year-old daughter is sitting behind me. And just based on my situation with the clubs where I used to live growing up, Fat Girl was always told, if daddy's not around and you need help, you go to the clubhouse. You go find somebody with rags on. Like, I can take her to any event in Lake County and every club member knows exactly who she is. And I did that for a purpose, is because bikers, no matter what side of the aisle they sit on, that's one thing, no matter what, like I said, even out of law enforcement clubs, that's one thing we can all agree on, is we don't do crimes against children, we don't do crimes against women. We're completely against them whatsoever. And full disclosure, before some ignorant, how do I want to word this, a-hole jumps on here and says that this is just a political BS, me and Bone sit on two different sides of the aisle when it comes to politics. And we agree that this is ridiculous. This has nothing to do with politics, because I know that argument's coming, because there's a lot of people that, they just don't like it. It's because it's political.
Look,
It's not political. It's disgusting.
If a guy is wealthy enough to purchase Easyriders Magazine, he's not broke. But the fact that he's not broke does not somehow excuse him or excuse the people in his employ from coming up with this sort of disgusting, very disturbing material, publishing it for what they see as a political ploy. It's not. It landed horribly. It landed real flat, and it's disgusting. And nobody cares whether he's red or blue or left or right or whichever. You're a disgusting individual, and there's accountability is something that needs to happen. I don't want to hear nothing about cancel culture and all like this. Easy Rider's been around forever and ever and ever and ever. The difference is the folks that own it now are disgusting. That's the thing that's different. So
the only thing I can say for Easy Rider is if they want to fix this, they need to release the names of everybody that had anything to do with this article. The name of the author, the name of the fucking idiot that.
Well, here the problem, and I'm with you, but the problem with that is that the owners allowed it to happen. So let's start with them, because there's no way you're not going to tell me, because the editor-in-chief, in fact, let me get it right. The editor-in-chief and the editorial director is the owner. Keith Arball.
He needs to step down.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Well,
effective immediately.
That's my opinion.
Or Easy Rider is going to lose its support across the U.S.
Well, I think that's what needs to happen, because I don't see that individual, after putting that kind of stain on an iconic brand, I don't see him coming back from that. And I certainly hope he doesn't. Let's listen a little bit more to what this cat has to say. Oh, but also, hey, while you're here with us, if you're watching this show tonight, share this with everybody and their doggone mother, because we want them to know. So share the show, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done it already. But this is a thing that needs to get out there. So please subscribe, share, do all that stuff that we need you to do right now tonight. But let's get back with this cat and see what he's talking about, because I think he hit every nail on every head about
I'm signal boosting this not just because I have a moral imperative to do so, but because both of them have put their careers in danger by speaking up about this. Outside of the possibility of an ass kicking at Sturgis, which is always possible when you've got a mouth as big as mine, I will suffer zero repercussions for saying anything about Easy Rider. But both Jared Weems and Jasmine Kane could face the possibility of being blacklisted in the chopper scene for saying something about this. I will say they both posted publicly about this before I ever even knew about it. And just as a personal aside, on a phone conversation that I had with Weems Motor Co., he told me that he'd rather be blacklisted from every single event that ever existed than to keep his mouth shut about this. So it's my responsibility to support my friend Weems Motor Co. with my platform and make sure that this gets as much attention as possible, so they aren't able to quietly sweep it under the rug and ostracize someone for doing the right thing. I'm not sure what answers from them would even satisfy me, or if it's even possible. But I do know that silence ain't gonna cut it. I sincerely hope that Easy Rider publicly responds to this, and I hope that somehow they're able to explain why this was allowed to be published to our satisfaction. I'll have Weems Motor Co. and Jasmine Kane's socials listed down below. If you're watching this right now, please go show them some support for blowing the whistle on this one. All I'm doing is sharing the things that they brought to light on a bigger platform. And I want to make sure that my friend Jared Weems isn't punished for the crime of being a good human being. That's all.
So, what the hell? Stand by. I don't know what that is. I don't know if y'all heard that. I don't know what that was. I was hearing something about some kid stuff. Hey, where'd everybody go? Hey, where'd we go? All right.
We're still here.
Okay. I don't know. I hit a wrong button or something. But anyway, so I guess the thing that we're getting at is like this, is that I don't know if this is a isolated incident, if there's other entities, other organizations, other magazines, or whichever, who come up with the same stupid ass idea that somehow they're going to make crimes against children acceptable or normalize it. It's not normal. It's disgusting. If you feel like it's disgusting, if you feel like it's a horrendous thing, if you feel like it's a snapshot of the moral decay of America, please keep that same energy, because you're right. Don't let anybody tell you no different. But anyway, I'm going to change the subject because my blood is boiling. But let me tell you like this. If you didn't already do it, I think I said it a minute ago, definitely share the show with everybody. Hit the like button, Subscribe if you didn't do it. And also, if you got a minute and you want to say something on the subject, we'd love to hear from you. 786-789-3323 is the phone number. So feel more than welcome to call in now or whenever. Just get at us and let us know what you're thinking about. We got a lot of stuff going on. This is going to be a hell of a year, y'all. I mean, it is February and there's so much insane stuff that's been happening. But we're going to do our best to try to keep you in the loop on all of it. But other than that, this has been an interesting night. I want y'all to kind of percolate on what we're talking about here. And look, if you got a kid, go give them a hug, give them a kiss, and just be ready to protect your kids. And if you need some help, swear to God, give me a holler. If you need some help, we got you. We got you. What say you, Tate?
100%. Like I said, like you said, like I said, kids need help. Look for a biker. That's your best bet. As far as Easy Rider goes, Luke Kimsey's rolling in his grave right now, brother.
Yeah, it ain't nothing cool about it. It's, you know, Easy Rider started a lot of really powerful movements in the United States on the biker scene. You know, it kind of it highlighted.
Easy Rider started my organization.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with it in the 70s. In the 70s.
Yep.
Technically, our organization, Mofo.
Ours. But, I mean, and to hear that this is what it's come to, like, come on now, man. This is ridiculous. Like, who the hell read this and was like, this is a good idea, let me put this out. But before I get pissed off and start cussing a lot, everybody needs to share this, get the word out. Black Flag Easy Rider until the current owner removes himself from the position, steps down, steps to a new way, and has nothing to do with the company. That negatively affects our show, so be it. I'd rather take the hit, have less people watch our show, because we actually speak the truth.
Hey, screw you, buddy. Watch the show. You better watch the show. No, I'm just playing. I'd
rather lose people because we're telling the truth over, some BS that's going on.
I feel you. Here's the thing that I've learned over the past few years of doing the Big Boneyard. Everybody knows we don't do this for money or nothing like that. I don't make no money, whatever. But it's not about that. The thing that we're fortunate about, the people that ride with us on this show are some solid individuals. We have a real biker community, and our folks, they're not crazy and they're not stupid. Folks watch this because they know they're going to get the real deal information. We keep everything extremely straight. We don't talk about stuff that we're not supposed to talk about. And people ask a question sometimes. I'm like, hey, that ain't none of your business. We ain't going to talk about that. Certain things are club business. Some things are private to a club or a part of the set, and some things I'll say, hey, go get a motorcycle, learn how to ride it, and go to the clubhouse and you'll find out the answer to that question. But it's a bunch of other stuff like protocol, tradition, history, etiquette, like how we get down, we're going to do that all day. But look, in the meantime, we love y'all. Peace, love, hair grease, all that kind of good stuff. But for real, y'all keep rocking with us. We're going to keep putting the word out, and we appreciate it. But we're going to see y'all in about another 7 days on the Big Boneyard. But hey, let me go ahead and roll us on out of here. But check out the socials. Like I said, check out the Facebook. I want to say it's Bone OFFO on Facebook and some of the other stuff, but you'll see it out there. Check that stuff out and let me know what y'all think. We'd love to hear from y'all. All right. In the meantime, love and respect to all of y'all. Peace out.
decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.